In this video I have a bit of a light up sign, and I thought it was just a couple of light globes or something in this thing, but then I noticed they do have a speaker in them, so I thought I'd grab one just to play with. Make a good sort of man cave sign if nothing else, I guess. It's got evacuate, fire alarm, which I've already pulled the end caps off, about the size of a normal exit light. And had a quick look, looks like a couple of 240 volt light globes, a standard thing. But also got, I assume, a siren circuit and amplifier. Though I'm not 100% sure, but I assume that's what it is. A couple of relays. So maybe, I wonder if I've got a flasher or something in here. But anyway, I was looking at the connections here. You got lamp pos, evac sign F, evac sign E. So I thought, what the hell is this pos thing? I think that's a diode, that old black thing there. And that's when I sort of clicked. I thought, I wonder if these are actually 240 volt. And it turns out these are Crompton 24 volt, 25 watt light bulbs made in Australia. So probably back in the 80s or something. So yeah, it'd be very easy just to hook these light bulbs up to 240 volts, and it's definitely going to go pop if you do that. So it looks like we've got positive and negative for different functions. That's probably why it's got a diode there, to stop people reverse polaritying it. So that, I think, goes to this bottom lamp, which is fire alarm. So I assume maybe, I wonder if they flash between the two light bulbs. Are they two separate signs, or is it just all light up at once? Could be evacuate is one alarm and fire alarm is another alarm. Don't know, but the fact that they've got these different things. So that's lamp positive, evac sign positive, which goes down to this board. Evac sign F, whatever that is. Could it be flasher or something? Evac sign E, is that like earth negative? Yeah, unfortunately they don't tell you much. I see another big diode in there. There's a electrolytic capacitor, should be handy to work out the polarity from, I'm guessing. What does it say on that board? It's Pekon fire protection. P-E-K-O-N maybe? So definitely part of a fire system. Not sure if that hung by something here, as well as had the electrical connection maybe. Not even 100% sure it's been used, but I think it might have been, because there's no actual mountings to attach this to where it's been attached to a wall, I guess, unless they had chains on some of the end screws. So I don't know whether I should pull that board out, or can we just go to that electrolytic capacitor? There's a diode. I guess we might just multimeter a couple of things. For starters, and that diode, well, that must be facing that way. Yeah, and that goes to that light. I think the grey wire comes out of that. It goes back to the board. I wonder if that's connected. I guess we can take that light bulb out, is one thing. So that should go to one of these. Yeah, so that's our diode in. That doesn't seem to be connected to anything, so it may well be that they flash then. Maybe relays to switch them on and off. The positive of that sign pos. It's not fully connected. But that's sort of going to that diode. Negative side of that cap. I would have thought it went to that. Nope. Positive side of it, if we can get to it. There's no direct connections, just to make life difficult. Where does the wiring even go? Oh, I see there's a black and a red under there somewhere. Black goes to the speaker. There's a brown joined to the speaker and comes back up to a VAC sign F. There's a Magnavox speaker. It's got a date on it. Made in Australia, so this is a local company by the look of it. Oh well, I think we might have to take the board out just so don't blow anything up. So they don't want to come undone easily. There we go, finally. Okay, so that's our capacitor. Negative side is that brown wire that's looped. Well, how come that didn't measure? I always seem to make a bad connection. I'm pretty sure that's connected to the cap. Just being a pain. Maybe that wire's not pushed in. So yeah, one of them, the negative, that would be a negative, I guess. That goes, no, not into the diode. That's our positive, I'm guessing. Of course, now it all works that I pull it apart. So I think that's positive and negative. What about sign sign F? We've got a black wire goes to the speaker. That comes via that big resistor. And a transistor there. Weird to have a 22 ohm 10 watt resistor there. What chips we got? LM339, I think it's a quarter op amp. NE555, so that would be an oscillator most likely. Timer chip set up to oscillate. Yeah, Pekon fire protection. And then I'm guessing the lamps are switched via these relays. Definitely wired into that area. There's a couple of diodes there. Oh, the diodes are probably for the coil. That almost looks like that white wire goes to the coil of the relay. Bit weird. And then we've got contacts. So black one's speaker out. Power in. Then we've got another 3. Grey wire, I think goes to one of the lamps. That's the other side of that one with the blue lamp. We've got a blue and a what to the other lamp? Blue and orange, so I'm guessing that orange wire is coming back. That goes to switch contacts. The grey wire looks like it goes to switch contacts. So possibly that's the lamp flashing out of 1. White wire. That's the sign E. Oh, I wonder if maybe this doesn't even run off the same voltage. So you've got lamp positive, sign positive. So I was thinking they're both going to be 24 volts, but no, the lamps are 24 volts. Possibly that's the ground, that white wire. EVAC sign E. I assume that's what this... So it's the other side of the lamp. So possibly the 24 volts goes across that, and this then switches it. So what voltage does this run off? For starters, we've got 100 mic 63 volt. Well, that doesn't help, does it? And this is what worries me is, what are these relays that give it away probably? But they don't tell you what they are. B104, V something, yeah, that'd be right. Thanks, Siemens. Looks like there's a symbol on it. They made them, but they don't tell us what the coil is. Might have to look up that part number. MO721-B104. or is it this V25154 or something? Oh, 23154. The chips are the other thing that give it away. Okay, quick bit of research. I think it was pin 8 and 1 for the 555 timer, and pin 3 and 12 for the LM339, which is a quad comparator, so it's something like an op amp, but maybe not the exact same thing. So pin 8 and 1. So that's the two end ones of that. I did forget to look at what voltage range exactly these chips take, but I think most of them are good for 20 odd volts. So the brown is the negative of the cap, pin 1 of the chip, pin 8, that goes through the diode, which is the other end of the cap, is that right? Yeah. So that's the diode, of course that's into the diode. So positive is red, brown is ground. Now, do they go right to those wires? I think they did. Brown is ground, pos. So that's sign positive, evac sign F. I guess is ground or something, or maybe F was denote something else. But we still don't know exactly what voltage. You'd think it would run off the same 24 volts. Well, how's the lamp? That's what we're going to check is, well, how's the lamp switched, I guess. I'm going to check those pins. Pin 1 to pin 3, was it? One of these end ones. 1, 2, that's not connected to anything, that one. Oh, that one should go to the opposite, shouldn't it? Which it does. Oh yeah, it's got a track on the upper side. Yeah, that's definitely our positive and negative. Still don't know what voltage. All I could find on this Pekon fire protection company is someone saying that they're no longer the administrator for the company in 1994. And I think they started being the admin in 1990, so they must have gone broke around 1990 by the look of it. Though just because they went into administration didn't mean they didn't come back out of it, but it's really just to, as the Americans call, bankruptcy protection, so you can get your creditors from stopping them taking the business down and put them off for a while until things can be sorted out. Yes, a blue wire of this lamp goes into the blue wire on that lamp, which must also wire back to the blue wire there, which is the lamp positive. So we've got positive 24 volts there, and it's the grey wire on this one and the orange wire on that one, which is switched. And what it was, the white wire goes to evac sign, possibly ground. So that's probably the other side of the relay. Let's just double check all this again. That goes to the center of one. Oh, that's going to the other of this set of contacts. Well, is it a set of contacts exactly? We've got coil, I'm guessing. Yep. And how these contacts switch. That's probably the normally closed, maybe. That's possibly normally open. I would have thought they were a bit different to that, but and there's our Siemens wire up there. Relays. So possibly this line here switches to that one, or alternatively to that one. I think that's the coil again, is it? Yeah, coil, that's the diode. Oh, does this turn... So this white wire likely turns on the coil, or... Vac sign E, a vac sign F. Yeah, a bit hard to know what that white wire is actually doing, but it seems to turn this other relay on. But without a circuit, we've got very little idea what's going on here. What the second relay even does, but I think it's kind of safe to... Maybe we'll put a lower voltage into this, like 12 volts. We'll hook it to the lamp and to the sign with a couple of links and stuff. And then we can work out what this other line does, I guess. And whether we've actually got a siren here, is that what that circuitry does? One would assume so, but it's got a 255 timer, that could run either clicking the relays or that. All we can do is hook it up and see what happens, I guess. Lamp positive. At least if we can see what voltage I guess is on that pin, if any. We'll know whether it wants earthing. I guess the other thing would be to check, is there a connection already from positive to that relay? Oh yeah, we've got some ohmage there. Oh, very high. And the lower k ohms to ground. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen 24 volt lamps or any low voltage lamps in that style. Normally they're just 240 or maybe 120 on a rare occasion. Oh, that's that. Well, that's our alarm for the bottom bit, which is, what is it again? Fire alarm. Well, I'm definitely leaving the building if I hear that horrible noise. So that's that one. The other one must be to turn that other lamp on. That's probably all it does, is it? This relay, that's hooked to the other. So does that bypass it when the other one's activated? Yeah, oh, I see, that goes over to the other side. Possibly one is designed to block the other one. That wire goes there. So the orange wire is on this other red. So that, you think that'd be the one hooked to the normally closed. Who knows? I guess we can maybe hook a positive up to that white wire. I guess we can hook it onto the relay even. Pulls a little bit of current, but no lamp. So is it meant to be grounded? I want the lamp. Oh, the lamp is already... No, sorry, yeah, it probably is meant to be grounded. I'm an idiot. Because both lamps are hooked to positive. So that would be the ground, I would think. Certainly clicking. But no lamp lighting up. Although, have I got that in right? No, I don't think I've actually pushed that one back in properly. Still nothing. We've got power on the lamp input. But do we need... Oh God, it says... That turns the relay on. Oh, but we haven't got... Because, of course, I haven't got ground here. So I know what we need to do. We need to loop a bit of wire to the other one. because we're just switching the relay. The lamp itself is not actually connected to ground because I pulled the ground off the ground wire. It must be grounded back through, well, yeah, through the relay. It seems a bit overly complicated amount of wiring in some ways, but I guess it probably made sense. Always seems to be the hassle with this sort of stuff. It's not just hook up power and away it goes. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Ah, so it's got different modes. So we do get a flashing one. Really needs a bigger resistor to that speaker, I think, to shut it up a bit. I guess we can cover it up with something. So maybe there's a fire alarm and an evacuate fire alarm, who knows. But they're kind of a cool unit, I must say. Where's some tape? Still going to come out the back, but that might quieten it down a little bit. If we turn the voltage up a bit higher, it varies with the voltage you put into it. That's up around 20 volts. Sounded like a two-tone alarm at a lower voltage. Yeah, different alarm at a higher voltage. Dare I go up a bit higher? Not sure what these chips can take. Oh, there you have it. That's what it does. Definitely give this a bit of a clean off, I think. Oh, well, it could be possibly updated to some better LED lamps or something. Though they're not going to light that up as well. It's not really a great design. No diffuser. I thought it looked a bit odd when I looked at it, but yeah, you could see inside there. So there's no diffuser behind the thing. Not that it matters that much, I guess people are going to get the idea. And yeah, the lights, so it's not very, it's all concentrated in one area, so it's not, doesn't light it up the best, but you've got the white reflective in there, I guess is enough. And yeah, that definitely wants the volume reducing on that if possible. They didn't give us a trim pot anyway, did they? Yeah, I'm not sure what we can do without, probably have to, well, that's the amp, I guess. We could increase that resistor maybe, that must be getting pretty hot. Because it's kind of getting shunted across the thing, I think. Yeah, they're reefer caps, better watch the smoke doesn't come out of them, but long life electrolytic, but I think their electrolytics are alright. Do we have a date on these chips somewhere? Malaysia. 210 on that one. 8244, that could be it. 1982, week 44. Probably wouldn't be far off. If these guys possibly went broke in 1990-ish. Huh. Oh well, that's it. It's a noisemaker and light flasher. I guess, yeah, I might just wire something in series of that speaker. I'm going to put our board back in. Might be best to mount that first, I think, before I even try and get bloody magnet. I just thought of that just as I got near it. So I need to drop that in somewhere away from the magnet. They really didn't make it so you can get your finger in there, which is a pain. Now I've got it. Yeah, otherwise you're going to spend all day trying to get that back on. Yeah, screwdriver isn't magnetic. Not the easiest thing to work on, but they never are. Come on. Don't think I'll even bother doing it up properly because it's not going into an emergency light situation ever again. So I'll just hand screw them into place or hand tighten them into place. Yeah, certainly an interesting alarm sound it makes. I guess the point is you probably don't want it to sound like it originally was, the two-tone, because someone could mistake it for a local ambulance or police or something nearby. So at least that sounds like something distinctive. And will get your attention because it's not a normal alarm sound. Was that a 22 ohm? I reckon we want more like 100 ohm or something there. I'll disconnect one end of that. Bit of voltage in there somewhere, I think. Just earthed it out and made it go click. So if that makes much difference. Let's change the tone up again. Well, let's just put a clip lead over it, I guess. Yeah, a bit of a slightly different tone, but fairly close. Possibly it just wants disconnecting altogether, I think, and just make a blinking light out of it. Might be even more use. That might even be the best option, I think. That's better. Maybe. Yeah, better with the ends on it for sure. So I put a bit of figure 8 out of the top here, so it's just the bottom two, a vac sign F and a vac sign E joined together and going to ground or negative. Lamp pos and a vac sign pos joined together and going to the positive, which I've done with a red wire here. And then yeah, you can stick around 20 volts in. I think a lot of these chips are rated to 30 volts. I better check, I'll put it on the video what they're saying on the spec sheets. Let's up it up a little bit more towards the 24 volt area. I think they're pretty safe at that sort of voltage. Definitely nicer without that sound. So I just disconnected the speaker basically. Doesn't seem to worry anything else. Rather noisy. Being relays of course, and in a metal box. I guess you could just make it so it lights up all the time would be another thing, and disconnect that board completely. Just wire the two lamps together and forget everything else. Certainly easy enough to do just by, you could just unscrew the lamp fittings and put new wires in there and leave the old ones in place in case you ever want to put it back again. But yeah, that does the job. I'm glad I only bought one of them. There were actually 3 of them for sale, and I thought, oh, they look kind of cool, but till I see one lit up, I didn't really want to fork out too much on it. I wasn't sure, it almost looked like they were just little candle size globes in there or whatever, but turns out they are bigger ones, but of course they're not even 240 volt, and of course you could make it 240 volt. But the problem is if you put a couple of big 240 volt lamps in there and left them just running, it's going to get pretty hot in there more than likely. I guess you could flip this upside down and use the speaker slot, remove the speaker and use it to ventilate some heat out of it. Not sure if it gets out of both parts, but normally these wouldn't run very long. So yeah, if you did modify it for 240 volt globes or something, those sockets should be rated to that. You just have to watch the heat levels in the thing so you don't melt your front off. Or this thing could be completely put on a different, like this would actually probably be ideal to put on an old exit light box, one of the ones that hasn't had the exit label stuck on it. So you've got a diffuser behind it. If you really wanted an evacuate fire alarm type display somewhere. But yeah, want something you don't see very often. I don't remember ever seeing one of these on a wall anywhere. It might have been for a specialist sort of use somewhere. Normally just have exit lights and an alarm makes a noise and people know to leave when the fire bell goes, or if you've got some sort of electronic siren. So not sure why they had this, but maybe this could be used in a noisy place or something. Would that be the idea of having a flashing light? Possibly something like that in case people don't hear the alarm. Not sure why else you'd really need a visual cue as well. And I guess the other option is you could redo a different sign on this thing. Get rid of the fire alarm part and put something completely different on there. I guess it'd make a good on-air type light or something. Could replace it with some sort of low heat producing LEDs or fluorescent tubes if you just had it on all the time, I guess. And get a different bit of this red stuff screen printed up with a different message on it. Can actually cut a piece of diffuser out of an old LCD television. I've got plenty of sheets of that I've saved out of LCDs before I chucked them out, so put a bit of that in there. That would actually probably even improve this. the stuff out of an LCD. I guess we could even just put it under there, would be enough. And hook it up again. Yeah, I think that's quite a decent improvement on it. Don't know how heat resistant this stuff is, but I guess it was in an LCD with the old fluoro tubes that handle a bit of heat from the TV and the tubes. Yeah, definitely a lot better. Might even be better on the outside. Definitely a lot clearer like that though. So I think I'll cut a piece to the size of this Perspex, and that'll certainly improve it over what it was before. One side's actually a lot brighter than the other, which is probably what you don't want, because you don't want it to look like it's lit up when it's not. Maybe that's why they didn't put anything in there. They don't want people able to read it when it's off. I don't think this is actually going to fit, is it? It's a little tight to fit it in there, but yeah, it's a definite improvement. A bit of the old diffuser in there. Yeah, didn't realise it was even different on each side. That stuff probably reflects a bit of light back being that way, but turns it into a better sign than it was before. But something a bit different. I just thought I'd grab one. I couldn't help myself, since I don't mind the odd sign to put around the place. And yeah, it turns out it's just 24 volts. I can imagine if anyone else buys one of these, they're probably going to hook it up to 240 volts or something and blow those light bulbs up. Well, then again, if they're not switched on immediately, maybe it won't matter anyway. They just won't get anything with a bit of luck. But if they hook up to the wrong thing there, they'll probably blow that circuit board up. So yeah, a bit silly. There's nothing on this thing anywhere to say anything. No models, no voltage ratings. Not sure it's even legal, but I guess these are not really a consumer type unit, so it probably didn't matter. But that'll be just something I'll sit on the shelf, I think, and maybe I'll plug it in occasionally and use it. But yeah, I don't know, it's not really something you want running all the time, I don't think. But anyway, that's all we'll do with that one, so thanks for watching.